Alrighty.
There we go. We should be live. I do have a question though, Samuel.
Oh, okay.
Everybody over on the thumbnail pictures, it's red alert, but it's not red alert here. Just saying.
Well, they've got a very big LED fancy screen that we don't have. In fairness.
Oh, okay.
Like if we had that, maybe, but Trekyards dollars don't quite equal that. Although you've got me thinking I should probably make you red alert. So let's see if I can.
Oh, there we go. Matt Boardman, though, $5, did a test for us. The super chats are working today. He says test and first.
Well, that's good.
So anybody that was here on Friday that super chatted, none of those went through. If it said error on your end, even though it's showing out of your account. So just to let you guys know.
Yeah, bit of a oh dear for us, but you know, here we are. It's all good. All right, Stuart. I hope that is that's what you wanted.
Wow, that's scary.
Yes.
I look very, very mad.
Yeah, so you took the Hulk pills, but the wrong Hulk.
Kurtzman's doing what?
I don't know why.
I think my blood pressure's up. Look at that. Jeez.
It would be super interesting actually to see what Kurtzman has any involvement in these days. It's hard to kind of work out.
Not much. Now it's more just a name slapped on.
Yeah. I'm sure probably Strange New Worlds has a lot of him in it, but it'd be interesting to see because he can't be micromanaging 5 shows, and if he is, he can't be doing anything else. I'm sure he wants to do other projects.
You might want to remove my red alert status.
So you're saying, are you ordering yellow alert?
No, I'm ordering regular.
Damn, I thought I was gonna get you there.
I knew you did.
Almost. Hi Stuart, how was your weekend?
Not bad. Nothing super great, but not bad.
Cool.
So, how about yours?
Yeah, we got to watch Venom 2, finally, which was we enjoyed the first one. It's not like they're great films, but they're enjoyable films. At the end of the day, that's a lot of what you want. Surprising lack of Tom Hardy as the main focus of the film. Like it's very spread out between different people, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Just could have done a bit more of him. But you know, it was a fine romp, and you know, being Venom lots of scenes is fun because he's a good character. He's a good entity, so it's fun to see like not a evil villain, etc. So that was fun.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Well, we saw it in the theaters, so we know. So.
Was it
more? It wasn't a good movie. It was an alright movie.
Yeah, and you could definitely. I mean, usually it's a popcorn sort of film. You can just sit back and mostly enjoy. Although a few of the classic tropes definitely felt like a 2010s film. And if you heard of the new Spider-Man, which is just infinitely better, because it's like taking all those modern things they can do, etc. That's just more of a classic one. Anyway.
Well, we got George Mangrum puts in $2 and says test. So thank you.
Excellent.
And Taylor T throws in a $20 super chat.
Taylor T.
So love the attempt at communication with the 10C. It had a mix of Contact, Close Encounters of the Third Kind vibe. It had a real Star Trek vibe to all of it, which I really enjoyed. This is way better than the last few episodes. Yep, that basically is my summation of the episode as well. So,
but we'll let you do it properly when I share, after I share.
Yes. Go share.
Spoilers.
Yeah. So as you guys know, for our Friday Live, the super chats weren't working for half of the people out there. So I think we missed out on a lot because a lot of people were trying to super chat. So if you did that on Friday, you want to do it today again, that'd be amazing because it didn't come through on YouTube's end. So just so you guys are aware. But yeah, super chats are a great way to let us know that you want to see more of our content, and we really appreciate them. Obviously, we do read them all on the air. So you can also send a PayPal to trekyards@hotmail.com, and we'll read the comment or question via the email from them. Or you can, other ways to help out is hit the join button. First of all, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and click the notification bell icon, but make sure that you check out the join button, join option, because I want to get at least 2 new members during this live. So if anybody wants to join the channel at the rank of a captain or commander or any of the other ranks that are available, please take a look. And if you can, that's just a 1 monthly kind of like a subscription almost. So if you want to do that, please do so. Don't forget there's links in the description for the Eagle Moss ships as well, and also the Teesprings and the TeePublic store. Now TeePublic is having a sale on, which is today is the last day for it, which is 40% off. So it's an amazing time to scoop up some Trekyard shirts or whatever if you want to check that link. So please, by all means, do so, and just see what there might be available. Even if you want to just put it in your cart for now, and then when there's another sale, because they usually have one, it's like 3 or 4 days every month that they kind of have a sale. So it's usually 35% off though. So the one on right now is 40%. So it's a great time to go get something. So yeah, we would appreciate that. Also, don't forget to hit like. We have 54 people here right now with 43 likes. Let's try to get to 50 likes. It's 7 more likes, guys. Should be easy to do. Bill, I have not yet seen the Shuttlepod 1 show. I do want to see it, but I don't have the time. So, but yeah. So yeah, channel membership is a big deal. So if you guys want to hit that join button and just check out the different tiers that are available, we would appreciate that. Just finished editing a review today for an Eagle Moss review that's coming out on Thursday for the USS Mayflower from the Kelvinverse. So if you guys are into Kelvin ships, check that out. I can't hear you though. I saw you say you're back, but
I'm back.
There we go. Captain Chili Bina, member for 16 months of the rank of captain. Thank you, Captain.
Such a long time.
Yeah. This episode was better than last few for sure, but I watched right after Picard, and it's a damn stark contrast in quality. Disco doesn't even get close. Yeah, not yet. I mean, hopefully there's better things on the horizon.
With that one more episode.
Yeah, I mean, even for season 5, I want them to not do what they did for this season. So, but yeah, thank you very much, Captain Chili Bina. All right.
Start my first poll.
Yeah, you do a poll. And I'll just start talking about what I thought about this
So,
episode.
Stuart, what do you think of Discovery Season 4, Episode 11? And this time, unlike last week, we did all of our review stuff on Thursday, Friday, so haven't talked about it for a good amount of days. So I wouldn't remember the episode too much if I rewatched it just now. So it's actually more fresh than last time.
Yeah. Well, like I said at the beginning of the edited review that we released earlier today, and as Taylor T said, it very much had a Steven Spielberg kind of 1980s movie vibe to it with the way the contact was being done. And yeah, it definitely got flashes of Arrival as well. So yeah, that was a great thing actually, because it's an actual alien life form and quite unique. I thought that was cool. And just the fact that they're like a class 2 on the whatever scale. I want to say tardigrade scale, but
Tardigrade scale.
It's not the tardigrade scale. But yeah, so we are like a monkey with a rock in comparison, even though we have a starship that has warp. I like that comparison. So no, I thought it was really good, and definitely the pacing was better. It still was all very one beat though. Through the whole episode, and the Tarka stuff didn't make a whole ton of sense to me, honestly. But hey, it was better than the last few episodes, so yay. Hopefully the next episode won't disappoint. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to the next episode. They should have wrapped this up a lot sooner, but here we are. So that's kind of my thoughts. How about you?
Definitely a different rewatch, because in the first watch, it's very much exploration. You're wondering where it's going to go. You're really intrigued by the main story, and the Target stuff kind of comes in chunks. So the end disappointment of that isn't felt during, only after. In the rewatch, you realize how really simple the episode is, and as you always say, probably could be done in 30 minutes quite happily. It wasn't filler, but it was extremely drawn out.
Yeah.
This isn't necessarily a critique, but it's definitely less enjoyable as a second watch, because it is just very slow and nice, but I know the reveals, I know the twists, so I'm just like, And I definitely tuned out during all the emotional stuff with the President and Saru and Burnham. I mean, that's just so uninteresting a second time round. It adds nothing generally to the story. So it's a weird one of definitely first watch better experience, which you're really feeling with them. Second time less strong, because there's just so little. It's like it's a delicious dessert, right? Delicious in that bite, but will not fill you up. This episode great first time around. I'm not really going to come for seconds, and I had to, but still better than the last many, and probably I'd say second or third best of the season. Which, given there's only one more, that means it's probably gonna be my second best of the entire season. And the first thing I said to you when we did our original review was, this should have been episode 7. So you could give another 5 episodes of story after this. The fact that it's episode 12 of 13 shows there's almost no story left to tell, and the story of the season is thoroughly disappointing, with massive amounts of thrown in gaff in the middle that should have been cut out, swapped around. If this thing needed ratings to keep going, it would not be renewed. This thing is not surely getting the ratings of a normal show. They want to keep going because they want to keep it going. It's a brand thing. It's look Discovery successful. I mean, this thing, if it's on network TV, would hemorrhage viewers every week. You know what I mean? If this was like 10 years ago, this last two, people would have already tuned out, so the viewers would be terrible and it'd be cancelled. Because this isn't generating enough interest to justify a season 5. This isn't necessarily about this episode specifically, but if they would ramp up the pace to give us a really epic 2-parter, didn't do that. Whereas episode 7, this is perfect. It's a let's evolve, so now you have the second half of the storyline. I said to you very early on, when does this subplot end, the second one begin? We sort of had that with the DMA, and then it stalled for 7. So there is no second plot. There's, let's find the DMA's people. That's it. It's a very strange experience, and very strange. And even with the good writing and the good quality of the episode itself, it's being in this bigger hole of just weaker content. Very strange.
Well, no, as we said at the beginning of the season, we rather enjoyed the beginning of the season. The first 5 or 6 episodes were pretty good, and we also love that they got the DMA plot, and then they went somewhere else the next episode. And I'm like, thank God, it's not going to be the main plot element, and it very quickly just devolved into that, unfortunately. Let's see. So Wooga throws in $1, so thank you so much for the super chat. Much appreciated.
Every dollar helps.
Don't forget, guys, I want 2 new members for this live, so if you want to check out that join button and see if you can help us on a monthly basis, that'd be amazing.
Yes. And those sorts of, every couple of 5s does add up to what we didn't make last time, just like, oh no. But yes.
All right, guys, and hit that like button. Let's get up to 80 likes now. We hit the 50 mark. So.
Let's read out the poll as well, because I did do a poll.
Which episode did you enjoy more this week, Picard or Disco? Come on now. Somebody in the chat mentioned it's like comparing apples to oranges. They're just not the same, so you can't even compare.
Grapes to oranges. One is succulent and big, one is a morsel of yum.
Yeah, ants to whales.
Starships to monkeys with bones.
Yeah, pretty much.
But what's the results, though? You didn't read them.
Oh, well, are you finished it? Is it done?
Well, I want to know what it is currently.
Well, we got 47 votes, and it's 83% for Picard, 17% for Disco.
Okay, then.
Which is odd. Didn't think Disco would get anything. But hey, Captain Chili Beana.
There's a lot of good stuff. It's just,
there is. It's just not better. Captain Chili Beana throws in $5. I don't understand why they spent so many episodes almost entirely focused on Book and Tarka, only to undermine the relationship and Tarka's character. I thought they were being clever.
Because they want to justify why Book would go against everything he's known for the last 2 years. The savior of the galaxy that was Discovery, those that completely brought them back together from the brink of galactic destruction.
We need drama. We need something to try to stop them, and to throw Book into the mix with him and Burnham's relationship. That's the only way they could do it.
Yep.
Have something actually exciting happening.
Without a villain as well.
Yeah, exactly. With just trudging along. They needed something, so at least it's something.
Because we know that Book's never going to try and kill Burnham, Burnham's never try and kill Book, they'll always choose the other path, which is lovely. No, that's a super good point, actually. And obviously Tarka's just the MacGuffin of scientist that knows everything, because he's, I still find it unlikely that he can science his way out of this, this force field thing that protects them, that holds them. It seems a bit too easy. A singular easy strategy. It's kind of like comparing, do you think... Oh no, I say that, but I was going to compare TOS tech to relativity tech. It's so much different. But Janeway did manage to undo a temporal disruptor on the Aeon with just a deflector pulse, and you would think that leap in technology would be so drastic. So I suppose, although that is still Federation tech evolved, this is not even the same ballpark. But then it's also just science and math, and maybe they're not trying that hard. I don't know. That's probably inventing a mega powerful race. It's that you shouldn't be able to defeat them in any way. You know, they should be able to stop any plasma. You know, like there's automated plasma because it's plasma fire how they got out of it. There are ways of just deactivating that automatically. Why couldn't the ball just have undone that quickly?
Yeah. Area 51, $5. We have a message from 10C. They say, "Hey, where are the women at?" Sorry, Blazing Saddles joke wandered out of my head. Oh, okay. Yeah, Blazing Saddles would never be made today, but it's still a great movie.
Don't even think I know it.
Oh, well, you're missing out. Mel Brooks is awesome.
Yeah, he was sort of before my time. I don't know if I've seen any Mel Brooks films really.
Ooh,
I just know him as the.
Oh yeah, you haven't seen Spaceballs either.
I just know him as the racist, I guess. Or is that the? Isn't he the Passion of the Christ guy?
No. That's Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson, yes. I just know him as the massively racist guy.
Mel Brooks and Mel Gibson are totally different.
Yes, but that's why my brain went to the other guy. Okay, finally the premiere started working, even though I've had it on for like 45 minutes. But we start with a really great CG space shot, showing scale.
Beautiful.
And it's like, yes, the ship, and the fact that it lingers as well is super rare, as the ship continues to go into insignificance, and the 10C is this powerful. And I'll give him credit. The art design of these 10Cs, great. Can't fault it, because how would you go advanced tech? You go hyper organic. As if simplicity is a hallmark of design. That TOS looks more advanced than NX01 because of less greeblies. If they're saying this is more advanced than anything we have, yet we have greeblies, this is more sleek and simple, isn't it? As if this is more advanced than a flip phone, because it is. No, that's got greeblies everywhere. That looks more... No, it doesn't. No.
Yeah. Well, we find out that the hyperfield is from Earth, Sun out to Mars in size, so 1.5 AUs, which is pretty impressive. So
now, did you rewatch it again today?
I did.
Did you catch all the Vija music nods?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, so the entire first scene, and I forgot about it, and I reheard. I was like, oh my god! I was astounded by. I assumed the first time that this was going to be. It's the Vija species because it uses the same musical instrumental just underneath their own like beats, but it's extremely close to Vija. I mean, they talk about AUs, talk about scale, talk about all these things. I mean, very clearly a visual tie-in of. Do you remember that scene in Star Trek 1 where they talk about the scale and it's massive and it's set sci-fi? We'll do that again, but in Discovery, and it's great. It sounds really nice. It's both very obvious and also it's low enough in the mix that it's just kind of subconscious, but it still may be this is linked to Vija in some way. We'll not be against that. We haven't got there yet. And that would certainly be a nice twist at the end of the season if maybe it doesn't make any sense though being AI mechanical planet. At this point it doesn't make sense, but I don't know if you guys heard that, but I was like, oh, it's the Vija strings and cues, and I was very happy with that. Brought me all the way back.
Well, we find out we have 15 hours left, and Burnham's deciding to do something other than change the plan. And the president's like, no, this communication's been vetted by all the delegates. We got to keep. The situation is basically, if they haven't answered by now, they're not going to. We got to do something else. So.
Yeah. I found it odd that was an initial set of dialogue. They had a plan and they're going to ignore it straight away because they're running out of time. But it makes it's just the way it's framed. You think they'd already had discussed this on the way here to have the discussion because they're literally outside the door of the 10C. But the 10C detected them their entire travel into their part of the galaxy, partly out of the galaxy. So they would have made contact if they wanted to. They've chosen not to interact. As the president's like, well, we'll send our message, and it's like, but we have been for like hours, and they're not. We have to do something else radical because we've got no time to waste. It's just for the audience, but it kind of would have been nice if they'd gone straight into Plan B, Small thing.
But then we find out they found 16 hydrocarbons, all with different emotions, and they're going to basically use peacefulness and put that on the outside of the hyperfield to, become in peace, essentially. Which, it's a good enough idea, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, of course, they'll be detecting they'll be scanning and detecting the edge of their things. It makes a lot of sense, even if the scale is so, it's like rice grains to a planetscape. It's what we detect. That's a smart idea. And again, they would have already destroyed you if they wanted to, so might as well.
And then they talk about being this close to the hyperfield's radiation may impact the warp core.
Doesn't play in at all, though.
Making it more difficult to retreat if attacked. And Sora's like, well, it'll be a very small power drain, but I mean, statistically significant, but it might be an issue. Yeah, it doesn't play in at all. So.
Oh, it did occur to me that dots should surely not be able to function because they're also much closer.
But they don't have warp cores, though.
No, but power drain.
Point of saying.
No, but the power drain part of it.
Yeah, but from the warp core only, they say. They made a point of saying that.
Well, that's their main power.
Might impact.
But that's their main power generation, so they're not going to say that and say our main power systems. Their main is their warp core, so it sort of should be one and the same. Although they do point out that yes, we might be able to escape less easily, but do you know how hard it'd be to escape from these people? Just try everything. Yeah, we've come to the edge of our road. This is the try everything stage.
Mm-hmm. Then they're juicing up the dots with the hydrocarbons, and this is where Zora's like, I got an uneasy feeling. Something doesn't feel right. Something's felt off. Mm-hmm. And Stamets is like, well, after I'm done doing this, we'll talk to Hugh and we'll deal with it. So you see the dots launch right out the top of engineering.
It's 4 chamber 4, yes.
Yeah. Wow.
And I didn't think it'd be that close to the top of the hull, but now we know exactly it's like a deck down. And I don't know why they're not on Earth. I don't know why on Earth there'd be I guess it's probably part of the refit because dots are being their room. I just find it funny that these two actors are dealing with literally nothing and having to continue progressing. So they're just doing whatever they want. And the CG people are saying, right, how the hell do we make this shot work? But I loved how I constantly saw that where the Dira would do something and the dots would always be in the foreground. It would always cover. So there's no, there's a certain balance to anything makes it hard, put another one in front. They do that multiple times to kind of hide the transitions. So just doing it's actually quite a fun little shot that you don't really think, oh, they're CG. But when you realize, some animators do so many of these. My God. Sucks.
And kudos to them here because the shuttle bay door is closed.
Oh my God!
Wow. And see books shipped.
Damn, that's momentous.
I know. It's amazing. 102 people here, guys. Hit the like button. Let's get it to 100, and don't forget to check out that join button. I want to get 2 new members during this live, so I want to welcome you to the channel. So join the channel, guys. I really appreciate it. Yeah, so now we're on Book's ship, and they're just having a discussion, trying to decide what it's about, because it's really about nothing, which is kind of what they always do. They're just reiterating the same shit.
Yep.
About getting inside, they'll find a way, whatever. And then Jet asks for, some black licorice. Okay, nice.
And I sort of liked the gag that presumably is a joke to Lower Decks, being that licorice is always gross.
Yeah.
Because it has been in previous things, so I kind of like that. Because you don't get a sense she hates it when she eats it.
No, she eats it all the time. She was eating it one episode constantly.
Yeah, there you go. But I mean, it's obviously a thing. And Book's a bit dumb to give her anything. She's not going to starve in the next 7 hours, but, okay.
Well, she said her blood sugar was low. She might have been diabetic or something.
Lying could inject them with something. I mean, you don't give prisoners things, they'll escape, as they do. But then the dots get sent out. Nice CGI shot. They spray it.
Yes.
It's fun. And then I love it's basically just the abyss at this point. How everything liquefies and an abyss monster comes out. And it's very effective. It's good. It's good stuff. Although, I don't think necessarily needed the dots to scream. It's lower than Mix, but it's like, oh, dots.
Yeah.
But they're all fine, because it's just a stasis field thing, but it's good. It's a good set of effect work. How do you go more advanced? Do you go more natural?
Yeah.
Organic shifting metal. Cool.
But them getting attacked by the larger one is cool, and they actually do hit and engage warp. Like you see the stars streak, and then they get covered. So that's actually a really cool visual.
It is, yeah. I mean, the scale feels so broken because of the pure That's the point. It doesn't make logic. It feels like a miniature, like an Eagle Moss miniature. Although I I don't really buy they couldn't just turn 90 and go to warp. Why go the opposite direction? It doesn't feel like a very let's actually escape, you know? Especially as other times Discovery's on really obscenely difficult moves. So it feels like we're trying to be... I mean, it's pure just we want a bit of tension, but it's like, well, yeah, but they've escaped worse than this. And then I did notice the second time, that streaking is the Star Wars again. Like, that's not how warp works. That's Star Wars, the way the stars... So they just ripped off Star Wars fully. Because we know what warp looks like. Well, we've seen it directly in TNG, so they just ripped off Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Boo, high
Oh,
fives.
well. Yeah.
They do it all the time, so what do you want?
But they're enclosed in this bubble, and shields, engines, and weapons are all offline, and then they just compare themselves to like a bug in a jar, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
But they're inside the hyperfield now. There's no sign of the dots. Yeah. So we got to find a way to. Well, what is the order to Stamets here? Tell Stamets to assemble a team to figure out a way to get us out of this thing. Yes, to get out of the bubble. They also make the point of saying that there's 3 gas giants, all identical, within the hyperfield. Mm-hmm. So,
and there's life forms all around, so it's a confirmed giant scope of, you know. But Kevin asks, don't they have the spore drive? Yes, but there's no spore function. My seal network does not exist outside our galaxy, even though they've explicitly said in previous episodes it exists everywhere in the universe. So they're breaking their own canon, but makes it less powerful technology. But you know, yes. I did think it was a little bit again silly that Burnham gives orders as if they can possibly protect against this thing. You know, she says, "Get the shields back," and she was Stamets to him, "Assemble a team." I'm thinking, well, all the scientists would be there anyway. He'd have everyone working. There's nothing more important right now. And do you really think you can outthink people this advanced? No, of course you can't. It's like the Voth. You can't. You're not going to be able to. But so she seems a little bit dopey in this one scene of capturing. You just go through the motions without any sort of higher knowledge of let's do the talking thing because we're kind of fucked. But they've not killed us. Like use that as the thing. A small note, but it's not very intelligently written. That little bit.
Yeah. And then we get Nadoya, who like talks to Book, and basically just says that you're in the same condition we are right now, and that you can't escape this bubble, and that she asks how Book asks how Burnham is, and she's scared too. She just hides it better. So whatever. Yeah. Oh, we also find out they found the Dma Power Source. It's near the edge of the hyperfields. And it's cased in silicon ilium alloy. So once they breach it, they can pull it out and it'll shut off the DMA almost immediately.
Is that easy, Stuart? Is that easy?
Yeah, of course it is.
We'll have no problems later. But I noticed in this version, though, I liked how... Because obviously, this seems better in hindsight because he's like, I mean, look, it's this easy. Look at my schematics. And Book's like...
Mm-hmm. Look at my flowchart. It's like, oh,
great.
Okay.
And but when you don't think there's anything wrong there, you just play it as, oh yeah, sure, he's confident. So I like the slight play there. He's bluffing very effectively.
And Tarka wants to make some adjustments to his the energy transfer rate on his transporter, so that when he gets the power source, he can, activate it right away. And Book's like, why don't you try figuring out a way to get us out of here first?
Slightly aggressively said as well. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, well, warranted though, honestly.
Well, yeah.
But you see, Tarka, like, this is the plan later. Because, we have 3 minutes before this thing collapses. We can warp away, Discovery can warp away, and maybe the 10C can survive. No, he just wants to get the power source and activate his transporter and get out of there. So
seems out of character to want to kill everyone for his transport, but okay.
A little bit. I think he hit a crossroads here, and he's like, oh, shit. I can do one of these things.
Yeah, I guess we'll get there. But guys, we get 100 votes though. I asked the question, which episode do you enjoy more, Discovery or Picard? 93 votes. Let's get to 100. And Stuart, do you have a super chat goal right now?
Yes, I'm still waiting for 100. They haven't delivered. Hit that like button, guys. And 2 members for the channel. If you want to hit that join button and just look at the options, it's a monthly way. So if you want, I want to get 2 members during this one, so you can be our heroes. Join the crew.
And Taylor T, yes, he wonders if Book is going to use his animal connection with the 10C. Very possible, although they haven't really set that up in any way for the last 9 episodes.
That's why it's going to be a payoff of like the easiest way to communicate is just through emotions directly. It,
But it'll be one of those super really bad inconvenience moments of, oh yeah, that thing. It's like, oh, okay.
yep.
Well, that was no struggle.
But Jet sees the flowchart and realizes that there's a problem.
And then turns
And
out...
so does Tarka. The look on his
Yeah.
face is like, oh shit. And he closes it.
Yeah, this definitely leads to a good, like, where's it going to go sort of moment. Because the episode's good at this point. Like, it's leading in, it's sort of one half goes downhill, one half improves. And you have a really weird edit of, for some reason, she's got a maybe comm badge sort of thing, but it's not a comm badge, stuffed in her jacket for some reason, even though she got kidnapped, presumably by Tarka punching her.
There's no time to do it. Well, he wouldn't have punched her, but...
Well, he didn't have a weapon, so...
Well, that would be out of character for him. He just would have been like, you're coming with me or something. He wouldn't have punched her.
Well, I mean, it had to have some sort of edge.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like a communicator blank. It looks like it hasn't got the delta put on it yet. It's the same shape, same size. But she uses the chewed up licorice to make it work.
Definitely need a setup there. But they just wanted her to get out, so let's not think about it too hard, you know?
Yeah.
Even like pressing it, even though it would make noises, and they're like... Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. All right, so the orb stops. They're in the upper layer of the planet's atmosphere, and hundreds of life forms surrounding them. And they also scan the ship and every millimeter of the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
So that's worth saying because that can be important later.
Mm-hmm.
Then they need to have a first contact discussion, apparently.
Mm.
Okay. So she puts Reese in charge, but then we get the Zora therapy session. Stamets has checked all the systems. Zora's run diagnostics. Something still feels out, and Zora just doesn't know what. So he's going to help her by playing that trill game. So.
Yep.
That's all there is to say.
Back to the other conversations, and they say, well, yes, first contact, sometimes we do gifts, but gifts can be misconstrued, but we managed to nick some of the special material they were harvesting. Makes sense. They'll take it as a, we understand this is important to you. And, you know, again, nothing to lose is the constant vibe of, guys, literally all of our people are going to die today. Let's just try everything. But they're all very calm, though. It comes across well as a team.
Yeah.
And get used to this team, Stuart, because this team is the team the whole episode.
Yeah. And there's one thing that the Navarre president kind of shuts down Saru here and kind of puts him in his place a little bit. And he looks a little bit dejected, but that ties in later. So,
well, which is weird, 'cause it's such a Vulcan thing to do if you're just working.
Exactly.
But obviously he's seeing it from a different context, but as me as the audience member thinking, she's just talking. You know, it was kind of odd to have him bring up later as being a thing. I'm like, no, she's just working.
Yeah, I didn't even notice it the first time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Back on the ship, he talks to Thingy, and they basically, yeah, you know. Well, no, the good thing about this scene though is about his name's not Cleveland Booker.
Yes.
His legacy. Yeah, he takes the name, he inherits. He's given a name by previous people. It's a multi-generational thing. Really good. Probably one of the best things of this episode in terms of single like moments of that's really sweet. And you can see why he's more loyal to his cause. Like every time he disobeys Michael and does a thing, it's because this is the entire point of who he is this 5 legacy of trust in his word, in his honor, is delivering on a promise. So this isn't just me as a person, it's me and everything I stand for. I've been sort of beaten into me my entire life of living in this cold, dark world. I thought that was great. Although...
Oh,
sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I just... Jet's always funny. She's not really acting, she's just sort of talking in all these scenes. The acting level is like a sort of 3. It's selling, but it's just like you're just being yourself in every scene.
Yeah. And she talks about her time on the Hiawatha and about her dead wife. And she kept somebody alive. And then after they died, she just realized that he had the same color eyes as her, and it was a subconscious thing. And she asked too if the previous Cleveland Booker would have liked Tarka. And Book says, well, he would have understood him at least. So it's a good little heart to heart. This probably one of the best parts of the episode as far as dialogue goes, I guess. But learn some things about Book, and you know,
Well, it's really gruesome actually the way that Tara, I kept replicating grafted skin just to force them to stay alive for a bit longer because that was what I was doing. We know that she's not a doctor, so shouldn't have been doing that anyway. Really, Frankensteining people to keep them alive. That was the entire point. How do I make mechanical work with organic? And
yeah,
this person was in pain for 7 days, probably screaming in pain unless they were being, always unconscious. Like really horrific, like literally keeping them alive just to be in pain because of the emotional connection to the wife is both touching and horribly horrible as Frankenstein. So it's a dark scene but presented in a sweet way, which is a nice contrast actually.
So they deliver the boronite. They beam it to the inside of the sphere.
And then they go to the LED wall room for the next 25 minutes. Proper first use, because this room, as they're walking up to it, that is a bigger shuttle boat they've ever seen, because now they've got an LED wall. It's not green screen anymore. It's like, aha, it's all real. So the actors are actually seeing everything they're doing. So everything from now on until the ball thing comes out actually happened on set. They actually saw it. They actually experienced it. They actually had to, and the lighting's fantastic. And
I'm kind of bummed that we didn't get to see more of the 10C. You kind of get a vague shape, but with the gas outside, it's understandable.
So they deactivate part of their force field, see the clouds, 10C comes in, very much like a big god creature, I am your captors, I guess. But yeah, it's super vague. But at the end of the day, if it just came out, it looked like maybe the monster from Dune. The first one, we're like, oh, that's a dude in a cloud. Or that's an India aquatic but bigger. They're obviously big whales. I mean, it's more mysterious to just be, they've got maybe a face with lots and lots of lights on their face. So it works better. It's a better way of doing the mystery factor.
Yeah, there's just an error on the poll, guys.
Yeah. But we got 114 votes. So I asked, which episode did you enjoy more? Picard wins out 86%.
Well, still not at 100 likes, guys. 125 of you here, 87 likes. Hit that like button. New people have joined, so I want to just reiterate that I want 2 new members for this one. So click that join button and see if there's a way you can help us on a monthly basis. We'd appreciate it. And I'm sure we'll get a new poll up here in just a second. So be sure to vote on that as well. We want to hear your input. That's why you guys are here. That's why we like you being here to join us. Don't forget the super chats. Another 50 is definitely required. So more than that, but I'm just baby steps. General Grievous throws in $5. Thank you. Consider how unethical Jet was. This is a court-martial worthy offense. Whether reminded of her wife or not, there should be some disciplinary action. Not under the circumstances. They were at war. She was trying to keep somebody alive. She thought she was doing the right thing.
Although against their clear will, they weren't unconscious. They weren't in a coma. They expressed the will to die.
But a lot of people. I know a lot of people in that situation would say that and not necessarily mean it or know that it could maybe be healed. So I get it. She didn't have the triage mentality of knowing to say.
I think it's unethical either way. She had to make a choice. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So, plus it was season 2 writers. So, remember season 2, episode 1 writers, the ones that got fired. So, yes, legacy.
But that wasn't talked about in season 1, though. So this was made up for the season. So.
Oh, sure, but you still knew she kept people alive with mechanical and weird things. So it's just an additional on that, but just more graphic.
Yeah. While he's doing that poll, though, guys, don't forget to super chat. Like I said, on Friday, half the people couldn't super chat, and it kind of really hit us below the belt.
Well, let's be honest, not half, like 85%. It was like, wow. I'm just saying, it was most people.
Anyway, really kind of, if you guys can super chat today, if you were here on Friday and tried super chatting, please consider doing so, because it would be great. But yeah. 7 more likes, guys. 7 away from 100. Hit that like button. Thomas read the poll wrong last one. That's okay. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Anyway, we find out they have visual receptors and pheromone glands, and a very strange, auditory and electrical sensors, and a very strange, wildly unusual brain structure, as you would expect. So the universal translator is not going to be helpful. Very important.
Yeah, they get out on the offset, and they have set that up as the season's gone on. Anyone this important is probably going to be, who knows.
Matthew, it's because YouTube was having an issue. People were just getting error messages. Some people were, some people weren't for the super chats. So, Captain Chili Beana throws in $5.
Thank you.
I was annoyed that no one realized Reno was missing, although who sort of appreciated the in joke of no one knowing where she is, what she does. Yeah, there's a moment where it's like, Paul's like, I should have known. And Hugh's like, it's okay. Nobody can blame you. And yeah, that was an in joke for sure. Of she hasn't been here all goddamn season, so nobody's going to notice she's gone.
But she's not chief engineer, even though she should be. She's not a scientist. The ship was needed fixing, so I mean, no one has a descendant. Like any crew member you could ignore unless you're spore driving, you know.
Yeah.
Like none of them are the essential people except the main few. So yeah, I mean it's daft, but the whole thing's daft. But she wasn't here the entire season at all, so it's really irrelevant at this point.
General Grievous, $2. Q was pulling his usual BS with the super chats. Yeah, bastard.
And then on super chats, Matthew asked, why couldn't we do super chat? YouTube. It was broken. Don't know why. Very annoying, because that's like our big day.
Yeah, I already answered him, though.
Okay, yes. And Kieran says, congratulations on passing 62,000 subscribers. Thank you. Thanks so much. We, boy, do we try. We've never been favoured by that particular part of the algorithm. You know. But this is definitely some interesting stuff, and the pace is good. I like the way it's shot because it's being the LED wall, they could shoot as many angles as they want. So there's a lot of coverage. It's way more freehand. It's there's a certain emptiness as well though, because it's just a big open room with a big it works well for the context of the scene, but also it's not the most interesting setup to be in. But it's definitely a nice learn as you go adventure. Everyone plays a part. Burnham isn't the solution to every problem, which is phenomenal in this episode. She feels like a team player and a captain. Good job. Saru's a little bit more redundant, especially the last half. He's just working the device, whatever. But I'd appreciate at least the Asian man gets stuff to do. He's there. But when you split the dialogue between 6 people, each person's only adding a small piece, even though in theory the expert should be experting, you know? He outvalues all of them in this proposition, yet he's only given 1/6 of the time, give or take. Not a huge deal, but you know, by splitting it so much, it's just lucky they had so much screen time to allow them to do this much. But still, read the poll as well, because it's a hard question, but someone's going to answer it.
What did you think of spending 1/3 of the episode in LED wall hanger room set? Loved it. Very creative. It was okay. Missed the green screen. Looked flat. Could tell an LED set. It looked really totally real to me. I thought it looked great.
Yeah.
I like the idea.
I can tell what it is, but I'm not holding that against it. It works for this.
Yeah. But the creature releases the molecules, and 25% joy, 22% sadness, 17% peacefulness, 14% irritation, 12% surprise, and 10% fear. And it's all like confusing. Like, why is that a thing? Maybe they're trying to invoke a little bit of every emotion. It kind of makes sense. So
I think it makes less sense when you break down the second half of how they work out the language. But for now, it's like, I mean, we all feel lots of things. You know, it's a nice idea. They're just sending you raw. You know, you've communicated with their raw pheromones, so they're sending the raw pheromones back. But it's nice because there's an instant sense of these guys aren't the villains, the 10C. You know, if they wanted to kill you, you'd be dead. If they would used to, like, if they knew enough about carbon-based life forms to be engaged enough, they'd have like an emissary, like a Vija, or a robot they could send. But they're so out of what happens that they're having to communicate in a way they're used to, they might never even encounter anything like us before. So I like that grand scale, and the slow pace works here. It's extremely TNG, even so much as they're using one room set for a third of the episode. It's very TNG, and I applaud them for taking that risk, because season 1 Discovery, they would shoot the damn thing.
Yeah. Matthew DeFreitas, $2. Hanger felt like TMP final V'ger scene.
Well, but
yeah, there's a bunch of mumble jumble here about just the complex patterns and the light. I love the light pattern idea though, like the way they've pieced together later. But
yeah, you're definitely following them along on the journey.
Yeah. So they decided to mirror the pattern to just show that we understand as you're trying to communicate. So we're mimicking you, which again makes sense. It's very much like Close Encounters of the Third Kind, with the lights and the music. So,
but if it works,
yeah. All right, so then Natoya, the general from Earth, she contacts Book again, talks about the problem, and that this is just like the first step because it's complex language. The universal translator doesn't work. This could be the start of a long process, and we got to start from scratch. There's only 12 hours left at this point. So, and Tarka's like, hey, it won't take us that long to get out of here. What we're going to do is we need to push off Discovery with a reverse tractor beam after they ignite a plasma stream. Just burn a hole in the orb. It's like, okay, well. But I love the fact that the general's not totally on board. She's like, you got to be joking, right? She goes, giving you information is one thing, but this is a betrayal, which I loved. I love the way she's actually handled everything so far. But Book says, you know what? If diplomacy doesn't work, this is, again, plan B. Same thing he's been saying for the whole fucking season. And they send her the override codes for Discovery. So.
Yep. Next scene. I kind of wish that we'd seen them replicate matter a big, very much like Third Kind, that big light show. Zora, a little like 1 meter tall. How the hell can it replicate that much complexity? Not enough pixels. And I wish that was a bigger light show. I thought it was very anticlimactic that Zora's thinking that's enough to get it. It implies that it's a scannable light show, not an actual visible light show, because otherwise how on earth can you... Like, you can see some of those particles are so intertwined. Small thing, I just wish it was a big, like, cool visual, especially as we saw Zora make that, like, hollow show for the crew. Wouldn't it have been cool to see an exterior and then see the entire shuttle bay circle and we see how small they were? I mean, just missed opportunity. Not annoyed at it, just like... bit of an odd choice.
Well, the 10C kind of takes leaves and like, what happened? Well, we met with them. Maybe they wanted an answer. Obviously, maybe they don't think we're sentient. Well, obviously we're sentient. We came here in a ship with warp speed
through a galactic barrier.
But yeah, here's where the guy says they've achieved level 2 of the Kardashev scale. Yeah. Maybe beyond. We're like, it's like comparing a human being to a monkey with a rock. Monkey will mimic you, doesn't necessarily understand you. So I love the explanation. It was really well done. So
I always thought that they were being sarcastic with, well, we're like the first time when they said we've warped here, we're obviously intelligent. I thought one would say, well, we might not be. It's like, no, we are. It took a lot of things to get here, but the way it's framed, it works quite well, and everyone's working together as a team. Oh, it's nice.
Oh, and then they want more perspective, so they call in the bridge crew.
Sort of. Then you get Zora and Colbert playing a game. And then Jet's the key, maybe.
Yes.
But he chooses not to transport to engineering, but instead to walk. Even the time is of the essence. So we get a moment with every one of the side crew members. They all kind of help. It again feels somewhat diluted with the amount of people. This isn't so much an issue, just so much as they run into a corner. but they all do help. And by doing that, Burnham's able to ask Zora, who in reality, Zora's doing all of the work. I mean, Burnham's giving a few orders, but Zora, without her, which we had to obviously invent this season like fully, because Zora's the absolute need, having that intelligence to make those assumptions. You couldn't just ask the computer to do it and it'd work. But they work out that, yes, it's not just... It's all the molecules together, that the 10C sent like 9 tries of the same message. Which I thought they kind of skipped past that quite quickly, but 9 versions of the same message. It's a light that create an order to read the molecules, and that's the key once you turn it 9 degrees. As if you're trying to force it to make sense, but it does work. I think my only note with that, though, is that in a later scene, Zora then says, I associate a number with it, or letter. I'm thinking, but that's not... You're assuming that there's one little leap of logic, I think. It was good up to that point, and order doesn't mean a numbering system. You've done that yourself. There's probably a mathematical way of determining that. But I like the idea of, add the brightness of these blips as the Z-scale, which I only caught second time. So, obviously they're appearing, but all on the face of the creature. But as soon as you add depth of how bright they are, makes a map. It's a fun little moment of discovery. It's doing its namesake, Stuart, finally.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I kind of like the whole conversation here and the overlaying the patterns and stuff. I thought that was neat.
Oh yes, Tim, it is the power of math.
Yes, I said that the first time I watched it. Anyway, they were back on book ship, and Jet asked for another piece of licorice and handed it to me. And then she talks to Book and says Tarka's going to kill us all. She saw the calculations, and the hyperfield's going to implode if he takes away that power supply, destroying everything inside it. So, which
is a nice little reveal for the audience, actually, because it takes all the stakes up to 11 again, from being super chill.
Yeah.
Like, really, there's a very, very, very chillness. And I do appreciate that, obviously, the way he trusts her here is because he's part of this family, and so it's a very mutual, we know we're going to do something here, but she doesn't even try to escape in the moment. It's a very interesting, calculated, sort of chill way of relaying this. Yeah.
130 people here, 106 likes. That's
Fantastic.
Awesome, guys. Let's get to 120. Keep the super chats coming. We definitely need more, for sure, to get a minimum.
Over 150 on minimum, so... Yeah. Discovery. But yes, back to the... See, this is the bit that I don't necessarily get. They assign a letter, Y, to the molecules. And they only use like 3 molecules as well. I don't know what... That's the one little bit of what was the connection here. Because why is she associating...
Not sure.
E with E?
And... It was this... Well, yeah, there's a whole bunch of different...
It's arbitrary.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a mathematical genius. But it's talking about mathematical equations here, so... Yeah. Math is the universal language, but and greater than and less than, like, that's cool.
That was good.
But
when you introduce C and E and D, where the fuck did they come from? Except
I love
being,
how it's. Yeah. I love how they're like the bridge language, like Linkos, which 21st century Earth organization Medi predicted would be helpful in explanatory communication. So nobody's heard of this in 900 years. It was Earth, 21st century, that solved the problem. Really? That annoyed me to no end. But hey.
I mean, that's how this works. Earth is the home of... Look, Russia invents everything, okay? Just learn to live with it.
Techno... Bunch of numbers and letters. So puts in £5.
Thank you.
Guess what works for me now? I said I'd try again, so here. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. Super Chat's working. So
yes.
Much appreciated. We missed out on a lot that on Friday, so if we can make it up today, that'd be awesome.
And we'll be talking Picard during this week. Lots to talk about, so hopefully join for those and help us kick some discussion butt.
More math talk. And then they kind of split up, and Sarah was like, well, she seems so mean to me. And Barnum's like, when Vulcans are around humans, they overcompensate. Sarah did it all the time. Pissed me off. It's like, oh, okay. Relationships. So.
Yep.
It's fine. It's fine. But then yeah, it ends with "I love math." It's like I like science.
And then we get Tarka and
Well,
Book, and it's
fighting. Yeah.
the third fight. I can't believe you did this to me. Don't touch my ship.
Yep.
But the
Same dialogue we've heard many times.
I said this storyline went from this to this at this point. It went off a cliff. The
Yeah.
personal force field's cool though. And the fact that I even get a sense, not really, but it feels like the Tarka actor didn't even know what was happening in the scene. His acting doesn't change even one iota. He's like, no, Book, don't. Please, don't make me hurt you. Even though my energy field is a big giant orange. It's so removed from the reality of the scene. It's an interesting acting choice.
Well, like I said, maybe it won't collapse. And then we get the stupidest explanation. Implosion is going to take a good 3 minutes or so. It's enough time for us to warp to safety, for Discovery to get away too, maybe even the 10C. Even though if he pulls this thing out, the DMA will, stop, but there's going to be this void or this damage that's still going to drift and take about a month to hit Earth. You're like, oh, it's fine. Earth scientists will have a month to figure that shit out. I just hate how dismissive he is here. It's just silly.
Extremely out of character.
Yeah.
It does feel like Lorca in season 1, where he was interesting and they threw him away just to be a Trump allegory. And all that interesting stuff was just burned at the stake for the message that was meaningless. It's also odd that the DMA's power source is unlikely to be the big force field's power source. So why would you think they're connected? You would not keep it plugged into your mains. So yes, you can turn off the DMA, but I guess it's maybe. Did they say it was the main, like it back surge into the main?
They didn't. No, they just said the DMA power source is located on the on the outer part of the hypersphere.
Because I get that he can beam away using that power source, great, but I mean, all the tendency have to do is just lock them in a tractor beam, their equivalent, and then they all get blown up. I mean, he's leaping to zero logic because obviously you're right. He just wants that beam out, that leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, they definitely sort of just threw away the character at this point. And it feels so on the character. They spent the entire... If they built it up during the entire season, or if he had been, as I said last week, a gay lover to the alien, it'd make more sense. But to potentially kill Vulcan, Navarre, anyone in between, all of the 10C, the repercussions they might cause, just for beaming out, I don't buy it. He's not crazy. He's not that mean. He's not that arrogant. He's smart. He's helped Starfleet.
I agree, but I think at the same time too, right now he's desperate. Like that's the only thing he can accomplish right now is to get himself to safety. So he just doesn't care right now. Kind of feels that way. That's what they're trying to do with him anyway.
Yes, that is what they're trying to do with him, but he's doing it in a non-crazy way. So he knows he willingly wants to kill everybody, or at least give a. He's done the math in his head. He knows they're probably all going to die. Like probably.
He'll be in another universe. He doesn't care.
But he did. But he does. He does. Like he doesn't not care. We haven't seen him not care. It's just. There's not enough real. They didn't build it up enough to justify this sudden shift. Now I would buy it more if he'd gone crazy in the last 3, because obviously when the Discovery did almost stop him that one time, and he still destroyed the DMA, or we did destroy it. Then he sort of lost all hope because the DMA power source wasn't there. If from that point onwards his psyche broke because he'd lost his one shot, this is now his other one shot. I could see that, but he hasn't changed the acting style one iota since then.
No, yeah. I think he actually believed it was possible until he saw those calculations.
Oh yeah.
On the ship and went. Then he's like, "Oh, we're here. It's nothing else we can do." It could just be a desperation move at this point.
I just needed some sort of acting, some sort of direction. It would be, which is sad because like everyone else is really emoting in there. But this is when the two halves just shift so drastically in quality that the other one just starts to anchor the episode down, which is a shame because this other bit gets better and better. The Tensi agree to a meeting basically, and they send a Flight of the Navigator orb.
Yeah, they do.
Which I like, because that's a real CGI element inside a real LED wall that has to reflect a real wall, and it's complicated CG even though because it's a reflection. But it's an invitation. It's a peace molecule, so they know it's peaceful. It makes a discovery door, which is a lovely touch. come to a faithful thing.
He's dying. Anyway, Book is still getting his ass kicked by Tarka with the security protection field.
Or vice versa. Booker is stupid enough to keep shooting at a thing he knows will take it and gets hurt. It's just the let's have him take himself out of the equation fight, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Anyhow, so he puts Book. Yeah, puts Book in with Jet. So.
Ooh, that's an interesting twist.
What?
This is Jericho. Tuck is insane. I wouldn't be surprised if his friend was all in his mind.
Interesting.
That would devalue like a lot of this season, but it would make him much more interesting for that last reveal. Like it'd break the rest of who the hell cares for the rest of the season. But that's gonna be fun if everything he's been doing is just broken. That would be cool.
It's all a dream.
Yeah.
It's a holodeck program.
Wouldn't it be great if they get Asira back for one scene, just to be like, she walks in on him, talks to himself, and she's like, he's fucking insane. Walks out. It's like, yes, thank you, Asira, for your cameo.
Anthony Sui puts in $2 with a thumbs up, so thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Really need more super chats, guys. If you're able to, please do. Really appreciate it. And I still want 3 more likes to get to 120. Should be really easy. Anyway, they decide who's going. The president says she's going. Navarre president wants to go. General, of course, has to stay there because she knows she has to probably use the override and get the plasma stream going. But they make the decision of sending both Burnham and Saru for some reason. I mean, Burnham's a xenobiologist, which makes sense. And a linguist will be invaluable, and they have the screen on Saru at the time. It's like, okay, well, I think you should leave Saru here, take the other linguist guy, because he's a linguist, and have Saru, on the ship in case something happens to them. At least somebody in command authority, that's captain, has some. I don't know. It's just a stupid idea. No, leave the linguist on the ship in case anything happens. Then you can maybe still try talking to them. Sure, maybe, but I just thought it was a stupid decision.
Yeah, it was the opposite because they don't use Saru's skill set in a scene. They actively avoid using it in a sense. They've always said languages aren't useful, so he's already out. They're not using language; they're using math. The linguist guys, he's the one that knows all of it.
Yeah, they made the point of saying that it's not just about language. This not this episode, but another episode. It's about context and how. So that's where Saru comes in. I forget what episode that was.
Yes, that's true. That is true. The other guy wasn't as good at context, but he doesn't add that as much. The other 3 women are super good at that. They do not need him for that. And Saru would have been a nice choice to have on the bridge. He's the captain. I would have liked if President or someone had said, because previously she had said we're not, don't send Burnham and the command crew. I wish they'd reiterated that. One of them said, like maybe the general lady said, "Oh, but you shouldn't send the entire command crew. What if we have to escape?" And the president's like, "No, this really is the last try. We die here together, or we save the day together. So all of our eggs in one basket." I just found a bit of a contrast to previous episodes. And Saru is not a good, but they paid Doug Jones lots of money to be in it each year, so we have to get him as much as possible. That's how it felt, honestly.
Yeah. Mark Lawrence, it's in $11.11. So thank you.
Thank you.
Is this thing working? A linguist is valuable. A cunning linguist is irreplaceable. Moving on. Shannon Nash, $10. Oh, Riker off screen. Computer freeze program.
Frakes, that's perfect. It's all holo program to see how it would work, and he's been the chef the entire time, down in deck 9. Good
God.
Oh, that'd be funny. That'd be a guy. If I had enough money, I could hire Frakes. Like Frakes, 2 million. Do a day's worth of work, and I'll make this scene. That'd be hilarious. But Mina asks, "Why are you watching this? Didn't this come out 4 days ago?" Yes. But we did Picard on Friday. We don't do lives on Saturday and Sunday. So this is our first day after. That's why we're watching it.
Because unfortunately, they have 2 shows on the same day now. We always did our reviews on Friday. So
pretty straightforward.
New show gets bumped to Friday. And we have weekends off. So
you still get content. We don't have to film weekends.
Yes. Yeah. So that's why.
Well, thanks, Mark.
Then we get the yelling.
Thank you.
Then we get the yelling scene.
Yes, we do.
It's a little funny moment of this. That's not anywhere near the weirdest thing that's happened today. That was kind of nice. But and Grudge doesn't approve. Ooh. Grudge is in this episode. Yay.
And so is Adira. They go down to not engineering, and oddly lack of tension for. I know they can't do anything in this grand scheme. I get that, but everyone's so chill and disconnected from the grand plot here. But they find Reno's comm badge, which has been faked some signals, which I like. Although, whatever. And then they go back to the orb. They have a. Well, I'll let you talk about this. It's motion stuff.
Well, I'm trying to catch up because you're like flying through this.
Yep. President and so talk about feelings and sort of apologise for each other vaguely.
Yes. I usually don't, going into something like this with somebody I care about. Maybe I've said too much. This is why I don't let people get close to me. Personal fondness, she says. So.
But I love when the lady transports in, because it's like, what a precise transport to be able to do that. And she walks out of the scene like transporting out. I love when they beam and don't beam for no reason. There's a distinct lack of just she's beaming in, she's beaming out. And the amount of this woman's like, Cam Saru, here's the thing. I hate my job. It's like, what? I like the disconnect there of the actress. It was a really weird. It's good, weird, but weird.
Well, they come and do an exact replica of the bridge, which got scanned
What? Not just that. Not just that.
Earlier.
One more little subtle thing. The pod phases out, which shows they can go through their shields without permission. Like, even more advanced. Like, it ups the ante. They came in peacefully, showing yes, they could pass through their two-way shuttle shields. We'll do it peacefully. Then boop, peace out. Which I like. It's a nice little tech leap. It's not even like a beam is to disappear. It's even more magical. Small thing, but I like it.
And here's the thing, where the isolinic weapon shows up, I knew right away exactly what it meant. It's like, why isolinic weapon, guys? But it takes them at least 5 minutes to figure out, what? Isolinic weapon plus what? Equals what? They're curious why we destroyed the DMA? No shit. I figured that out right away. The first time. Like, oh my
I mean, it could have been, we're pissed at you for doing this. So is it positive or negative or neutral? I was fine with that. The lighting.
You could find out the tone. It didn't take long to figure out what they were doing, though.
No, it didn't.
Or they're trying to translate the message. It's like it's common sense, guys.
But in fairness, though, this is not the time you rush this. This is official negotiations, so let's take it chill. And I will give them credit. While it's not visually interesting to be in your same main set, that's so Star Trek of you. I just wish. They couldn't do this. I wish they'd painted it all white, like they did in Star Trek 4, or some other more distinct visual change to the set. I get why they couldn't, but it's hard when it's got such a distinct look. They can't change it too much. But on first watch, I mostly noticed it, but the second watch, they do a very strict camera trick where the center, like this much of the frame is in focus, and then this is out of focus, and this is massively distorted, and it's really, really good. I wish they kept doing that, but it would get obnoxious. I understand that, but the first few shots, really fun to see the bridge super distorted. Is a fun little visual cue. And for those Halo fans out there, I love that. So I was just using Guilty Spark. It's so like, oh hey, sort of funny.
Techno throws in £5, so thank you.
Good to see you.
Will Book be able to communicate with the 10C using his abilities? Yes, I'm making up for lost super chats. Thank you. We appreciate that. We need it. Yes, I think that's going to be the solution to the problem. That's what's going to happen next week. It makes perfect sense.
They should have been mentioning it more this season. I know it's a thing he has, but it's still a kind of MacGuffin at that point.
Well, people have forgotten about it if they're not paying attention to Discovery, which most people aren't.
Absolutely. But also, Mina says, why did they not bring any telepaths with them to reach the minds of the 10C? I mean, we assume they're more powerful than... I mean, would it not melt someone's brain likely? I mean, yes, it would be a suggestion. I mean, it would be nice to have a trill.
Well, it would just be the whole writing trope of we can't read their minds. Oh, okay. Well, shit.
Yeah, it sort of feels like an option, but... If they're too giant, I mean, you can't read Q's mind. He's obviously more powerful, but, there are aliens I wouldn't think you could. But I want to finish the poll at 89 votes. I asked, what do you think of the LED wall, which we now obviously moved past? 62% said loved it, very creative, and everything is kind of staying flat, which is really interesting. 14% said looked flat, they can tell us LED wall. 13% looked totally real to me. 11% missed green screen. So yeah, I would agree with the options there. I mean, I like 3 of those because I see it differently than most people. But yeah, good.
Yeah. Guys, well, did you do another poll?
I am good.
Okay. 127 people watching, 124 likes. Awesome. Let's see if we can get to 150 likes, though. Let's hit that like button. Still looking for 2 new channel members. So if you guys want to hit that join button, at least look at the join options. It's like a monthly way to support us. We'd really appreciate that as well. I'd like to welcome some new captains or commanders to the team here. So if you're able to hit that, please do. And yeah, super chats, we definitely need more if possible. So please consider super chatting. But yeah, I think can't wait till Friday when we got a new Picard. Hopefully that'll make up for it as well. So yeah.
Yeah, but we are going to talk about Picard throughout this week as well on other videos. And Dave Blass has released more art and things. I'm sure we're going to look at that as well. I'm sort of waiting for his next batch of interesting things because, you know, really good to keep track of.
But the new poll is up. So what did you think of the explorative communication story? Really good. Well done, Disco. It was okay. I didn't like it or boring. So go vote and keep hitting that like button, guys.
I'm interested to see what you guys think on that, because that's the scale of how much you liked it. Because I think it's a pretty strong success there.
Dave puts in £2. That Ferengi they brought along was solid.
Yeah, they'll not get no dialogue, Stuart. They'll have no dialogue the entire season.
He must be hiding in his quarters, because, yeah. Anyway, so the general contacts Book and Tarka, and Tarka's basically sends her a text message saying, they could be gone for weeks, years, who knows? The DMA is going to hit in hours, so let's do this thing. So she activates the override codes, and I don't know why Zora doesn't speak up at this point, but like, what are you doing? What are you doing, Dave? Because Zora doesn't have the... Well, did they find the thing already? Yes, they did.
No, they
didn't. Not yet.
No.
But Zora's... That's just a patch to have her not detect the ship on the hull. So
Zora's hearing everything that she's saying.
Yeah.
And detects that this random lady is walking out of the main areas 3 times a day. And she's talking. Like, this is not a secure channel. Because, of course, you could go through your own comm badges and circumvent the comm system, but the sound would still exist on microphones that Zora could hear.
Mm-hmm.
It's illogical, but that said, if Tarka can hack into Zora enough, he's probably... I mean, I guess he's hacked in to disable all auditory. It is illogical. I mean, it is the same thing as how it should hear, and Zora's the all-powerful everything being should know this instantly.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Anyway, she activates the plasma thing.
But not right now.
We'll see that in a second.
So we keep going.
Yeah. Anyway, they come up with the thing DMA plus us equals terror. Well, what represents us? I like the conversation here. 4. There's 4 of us. Could be 6. The atomic number of carbon. It's like, no, those could all mean different things. And then Burnham, of course, solves it with they had to create the atmosphere in here. And goes through all this stuff and it's like, okay, that's what we'll do. Which is a good solution to the problem, I suppose.
Yeah, they chat well. It's an interesting analysis. I mean, there's still interpretation to be had here. But it's good. It's a clever way of doing it. It's better than, bleep once for yes, twice for no. It feels good. Saru feels super redundant here. It's just a bag carrier,
And we find out that they answer with great sadness. So they have empathy. Which means they should probably shut down the DMA now.
Which is a nice reveal. They got through to them and there's a sense of, well, what? But it does sort of remove tension from last episode a lot. Even if Tarka tries to attack their thing, they're not going to just be vengeful all of a sudden. They've been through enough not to have this one thing be enough to... So it's kind of, well, they're not going to be villains. We've already gone past that. They're presumably going to DMA wormhole them back to the Alpha Quadrant. I mean, it's sort of... There's 0 stakes at the end, really, it's not gonna be a satisfying ending. This is the best stuff, so I hope they get more back to this. But then there'll be zero build up and actiony. So it's very strange.
And Aaron says, anyone mentioned that the robots were taken with the water thing look like the film Abyss? Yeah, Samuel did it early on.
It was great.
Anyway, yes, now we're in the spore room, and we find out that somebody basically sabotaged the ship. Why would anybody do that? It makes no sense. The jet's not here. It's like somebody sabotaged the ship and kidnapped her. And then they find an anomaly. One of the panels was opened, and maintenance was supposed to be till tomorrow. So they go on and find that little device. So,
yep.
Yeah.
It's a scene.
Again, Zora knows when the panels are open, but she doesn't know when people are accessing override codes and venting plasma, apparently.
Because surely her scans would detect that no one opened the panel. Why was no one opening the panel? That's weird. Did a ghost open it? You know.
Yes.
Because they'd be sent like, whatever. Doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
She detects the ship just as the plasma vents.
Yes.
So.
I like the instant jump tension. It's kind of nice. And the effect's good. I like the CG of the burn. This burn. It was a little bit easy though, but not the end of the world. You get a little bit of bridge crew, then bye bye.
And they can't do anything. What can we do? Nothing. Okay, fine.
Thanks for being part of it.
Yeah, I love seeing use the tractor beam to repel off the ship.
Yep. We haven't got most systems. We've got that. Yeah. I just don't know why Tennessee don't just grab them again.
Yeah.
There's not just, I mean, there's not just one emitter. In fact, that might be the payoff next week. It might come out and then go boom. That would make more sense. It'd be hard to. I guess they fly a bit. Oh, I don't know. That's dumb. But yes, the bridge goes haywire. I love the phase beaming between set to set. The zero effect. It's just a hard cut. I mean, it's not literally a hard cut, but I like that. It's so advanced. It feels like magic, and the fact that everyone's sort of like, yes, we're messing up, we're screwing up. Things are happening, and it kind of escalates. Like, okay, where's it going? Oh, 1.5 minutes left. Nowhere, I guess.
And Burnham is like, what? They were here? Books here? And we find out there's 4 hours left until Earth starts getting hit.
I'm thinking, did they really spend 11 hours on this stuff? No, they didn't. Where did that come from? And 4 hours, does that mean that it's hit our asteroid system yet in terms of gravity? I mean, our system is pretty big. Who cares?
Coming in from the top. I don't know how that would affect Navarre either. But anyway, whatever.
They don't know either, Stuart. They don't know either. Oh my god, in this scene I love it because Tig says, well, I've got this thing, whatever, we'll get through, I'll talk fast. She is the slowest speaking actor in the universe in every single scene. And when she says, I'll speak fast, I thought, no you won't. And when she speaks to the captain, she does not speak fast. And it makes me laugh on the inside because she is one tone and one speed and it's funny to me.
Yeah, she reports that her and Book are basically prisoners, and Tarka's on his way to take out the DMA, and it's going to cause the hyperfield to implode and leave a toxic waste dump heading for Earth.
Or at least potentially lean to potentially Earth. And oh god, it just doesn't.
Got to stop him at all costs, which makes Michael be like, "Oh shit, I do have to destroy that ship." And it's like, dun dun dun, what's going to happen? No, that's it.
It's kind of trying to be best of both worlds, but going from a gentle 3 of tension, of fun, to a 9 without very many space shots, and like, it's still enclosed in this bubble. It doesn't quite work as an ending. That said, I want to know what happened next, but I don't see any way in it being a satisfying conclusion. Honestly, it might not be bad, but it will not be a satisfying conclusion.
I would love like the 10C to take out Book's ship somehow or immobilize it. That's probably what's going to happen.
Yes, I mean they should. You know, honestly, would be great. So I asked in the poll. I said in 60 votes, what do you think of the explorative communication story? 45%, it was really good, well done Discovery. 42%, it was okay. 8% being third at boring. 5% didn't like. So very, very good results there. Good job.
Yeah. Well.
There we go.
That's it.
Yep. It's weird, yeah. Stuff happens, but also not a lot happens. You know?
I feel sad.
Anyway. I'm looking forward to Picard next week, though. Or this week, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And I'm looking forward to seeing how they wrap this one up. It's gonna be a cliffhanger season, though, I guarantee you. Season 4 ends, Calypso begins. There you go. Maybe the 10C knocked them back in time and changed the ship. Oh, Jesus. Anyway, now is the time where you guys let us know your score. Super chat your score, and please, we'd really appreciate a super chat. Quite a few, if you're able to. Super chat your score. I'll read those after we give our conclusions and scores out of 10. And yeah, hit that like button if you haven't. Let's try to get to 50 still. We're only 15 away. I think that's possible. And people come in all the time. So, and we still want 2 new channel members if possible. So click that join button and see what the options are for helping us on a monthly basis there. We really like to welcome a new captain or commander or admiral or fleet admiral or president to this live. That'd be awesome. So
yeah, but read the poll when you see it, Stuart.
Yes, dear. Will this last episode be a satisfying conclusion? There we go. Yes, it will all come together. Or no, it will not be satisfying.
Yeah. But Stuart, what do you think then? And has this full discussion changed your views at all?
Not really. I still think it's a fun, compared to what we've been getting, it's been really fun. The first couple episodes of this season were pretty good as well. So it's just that middle part that really stretched this storyline so thin that it got to the point where I didn't care and there was just nothing happening per episode. This one kind of got to the point. I love the way they established communication. They figured that stuff out. It was all good. The Tarka thing is really bugging me because I don't hate the guy, but I don't like the guy, but I don't understand his motivations. And yes, acting, please, would be helpful. So I don't know, man. This is just... man, compared to the last few episodes, it's been good. So I don't know. It's all right. It's all right. What are we doing score-wise for this? Like enjoyment and all that shit again?
Well, same as always. We didn't do anything special for this.
So this season and all of Discovery.
Yes.
Okay. Ooh, for this season, this one's probably get a 7.3. For all of Discovery, oh my god. 7.4. There are a lot of Star Trek elements with the actual alien life forms that were quite different and quite unique, and having to figure things out. I think I like that. So,
the only problem with giving scores is that this episode is completely reliant on all the other episodes before it.
Yeah.
Unlike TNG, where compared to the season, isn't compared to the season individually. It's, well, you have to watch all of them. If this was independently, you'd be like, who the hell are 10C? Why do I care? Are this powerful? Where are we? Why is it taking 45 minutes to do 2 things? But that's not how you can judge these, you know?
It's like we're scoring a show that has commercial breaks, and we're scoring each individual like segment between commercials. That's what this feels like in these last couple episodes.
Yeah, we've seen that bloody Toasties commercial 14 times, Stuart. I've got that bloody monkey.
Don't think I've seen that. So.
Okay. So yeah, my final thoughts. It's one of the better ones, but it's a very simple, straightforward ride. That said, that works to advantage because it is the first episode in a very long time that has a real story in mind. It has its own setup, its own payoff, its own cliffhanger. Burnham is very well balanced in the episode. She's getting less and less to do, but in fact, it's in better and better to the overall story. They gave, President's ton to do, and it was a very, very, teamwork episode. The bridge crew got a modicum, but at least it gave them something, because they were in like 4 in a row, so something. Stamets is such an afterthought in so many episodes, redundant unless the spore drive's being used often. You could remove Stamets and wouldn't change the show almost at all. Function. And obviously Tilly being removed improved the show, I think.
Didn't even notice.
Yeah, probably improved the show because it kept the focus more to more serious stuff. Adira not being used at all really, but doesn't fit in particular ways, so that's absolutely fine, appropriate. Zora makes more sense now, given that she's the Rosetta Stone of solving every problem. So need to be there. But creative, yes, we've seen it before in other sci-fis, in both movies and TV, but to see the Discovery team achieve this is a feat for them, because they're not known for high-end writing. And while this might be very simple high-end writing, I applaud them for making a mature, well-thought-out piece that flows well. It's just sad to have the Tarka stuff, and honestly, they could have had zero Tarka stuff except at the start and at the end, to say like, oh, I'll work out how to get out of this bubble. At the end, he kicks out. Like, none of the middle bits would have been better for sure. And the moment that's meant to resonate, and we forgot to mention it, when Tarka says, I've had 2 friends and you're one of them, falls so flat.
Yeah.
So flat. It makes you think he's delusional, because you even said, like, earlier on that you're not friends. It was actually made very clear, and you've been business partners. So that feels so flat in the episode. Unless it shows his stand-up a friend is just some guy I spend more time with than most. So, you know, yeah, they took a shot on the Tarka character. But my scores will reflect, you know, in comparison to Discovery, the show, which is not a good show, and the season, which is not a good season. So, you know, I'm happy to give this, for this season, an 8.5. It's of the best of this season, and it beats a lot of season 1, a lot of season 2, probably most of season 2. So I'm going to go 8.7 for all of Discovery and 8.5 for the season. So over a point better than you on both, because for Discovery, you know, good job. And I think, well, the second half will retroactively improve this half if they can pay off. But it's just the Tarka stuff does bring it down quite a lot, and in fact there's no ending really. But yeah, for Discovery, it's great.
There's a backhanded compliment. Matt Boardman throws in $5 and says Discovery has some amazing ability to be a show about always saving the universe, yet it feels like a bottle show each week.
Yeah, they talk about big things but rarely show them. I mean, this whole season was about the Federation coming back together, and we've seen one planet at the very first scene. The rest of it's been them chasing after 2 friends in the same sets, pretty much. Yeah, that's a really good way of saying it. But yes, but in your scores, guys, and non-Super Chat scores, I really would like to know what you think. Honestly, please do give us a score. Who's more on point here? Are we too high, too low? Put the scores in now. And we do need to hit at least another $25 to even hit nowhere near a minimum. But, like, you know, whatever. And vote on the poll. But yeah, and sorry about the half an hour early, if that was annoying to you guys, at least for my half of the world, because time zones changed and now it's a bit awkward because we've already moved it back an hour. But that was great last year, but bad this year. So yeah,
no, you guys, we moved back like almost the same time, but we moved forward earlier than you do.
Yes, yes. Stupid. So with 2 weeks of this. Not great, and it'll certainly be difficult on the review days for me, but you won't notice any difference, really. And in fact, you get more time, actually, between them. I'll get less time to edit, etc. But yeah. You'll get there'll be daylight outside for you when we review things. So at the same time, for these reviews, and then hopefully back to the new normal time soon after that, when it all kicks back into place.
Yeah, so... like you said, another $25 super chats would be awesome. We still need 4 more likes, guys. And I guess we're not getting any new members this one, so nobody wants to click that join button and take a look. That's fine, I guess. Yeah. Where are we going from here? What's happening?
Well, if you guys want to see what else we've talked about in the last few days, we did a video on Saturday of the CSS World Razor. We're at 23,000 views. We look at the concept art from original, well, not the original, but one of the earliest pieces to the finals. Some great stuff by Sean Turner and Darren Doctorman. Check that out. And the Evil Picard wall as well. Only 6,000 views, which came out yesterday. If you want to see our condensed thoughts, first reaction, which we filmed on Thursday, our genuine first reaction, then watch that review. And later on this week, we're looking at the phaser and other such things. So some good fun stuff. And I'm sure we're looking at some other Picard stuff during the week, which I'm excited for.
Yes. Yeah, we don't know what lives we're doing this week, but we'll do some good ones, and hopefully you guys will join us. And I'm really annoyed at YouTube for Friday because that was probably missed out on about $400 or $500 worth of revenue as a result. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
I certainly feel that when I spend stuff. It's like, oh damn, that's my shoot this weekend, or etc. You know, classic stuff. But yeah, nice chill chat. I'm gonna go back to what I was doing for some clients, and this weekend I'm doing some shooting. I'm shooting potentially 3 films, 3 shorts, 2 TNG, 1 Voyager / and in fact, actually, I can specifically call out one nice thing. So, those of you might have seen, we released, as in me and my Trek fan film family, just released a new Trek fan film from Star Trek Intrepid called Pursuit of a Dream. Did you manage to see it yet?
Not yet, no.
Yeah, definitely see it on the big screen rather than on your computer screen. It's definitely it's in full 4K. I mean, obviously you can't see 4K on your screen, but it's really, really crisp on the TV. It will look, and that's a 15-minute short film, which has Nick Cook from Intrepid and other people. We won't spoil who appears. There's some very, very new CGI techniques in it. A lot of ship porn, a lot of high-end camera work. I'm very, very proud of that. That came out on Saturday. We filmed that last summer. My first guest directorial on Star Trek Intrepid, and there's really, really nice comments, which is lovely, because fan film comments are very split between that's pretty good or that's amazing or we hate you, and it's nice to see almost entirely really positive. So that was real nice.
I'll go check it out later tonight for sure.
Yeah, I'm very.
But Matt Boardman throws in $25.
Oh my goodness!
Lending in helping hand snipe. So thank you.
It's a big snipe.
Squadra Course throws in $1 with another snipe, but it still beat out Matt. So everybody wants that last super chat slot. Now's the time to snipe in.
In fact, let me put up the thumbnail and you can tell me what you think of the thumbnail, like what you think it's about or something, because
General Grievous $2. Nice work on Intrepid. Good work on de-aging also.
Spoilers. So here's the thumbnail, Stuart, if you want to take a brief looky look. Your sort of first reaction, which I made this as well. Aha, there it is. What do you guys think? Bit of canon Trek in essence. It's pretty fun stuff you rarely see as well.
So what do you want my opinion on?
Yeah, what do you think? Like, what do you think of how what do you think?
It looks good in the uniform for sure. Got some Jem'Hadar there.
What emotions does it give you seeing this?
I have no idea. It looks exciting.
Yes.
But I don't know what else to say.
Well, it doesn't make your ship self happy because you don't really see
for
the
sure.
Deradexes in anything, let alone Jem'Hadar in anything.
Yeah. No, I'm intrigued to watch it now.
And I would say, can you tell what the story is, but you can't from that. No. And it is his first outing in Picard flashback as well, which is a distinct choice to push forward into that, which is a lot of fun. Kind of hard to do because you got to sort of ignore the present to go into the future. But it's present for him at the time. There is no time travel in this, but there is living. That's my tease.
Okay.
Yeah.
Captain Chili Beana throws in $10. This is for Friday's Picard Live. I absolutely love that episode, and I'm super excited for the rest of the season. Everyone was on point. Yes, hope it keeps up. For sure.
Nice. Well, we've got to our minimum of our minimum, so good job.
Yes. I guess on that note.
Yes.
Thanks for hitting that like button. We have 151, but
pretty good.
Pajali Sigurdsson has joined the channel rank of Admiral. That is amazing. Thank you. There's the one channel membership.
Oh my God.
Joined. So we got one. We need one more. Yes.
What? That was a mic drop.
Thank you.
Wow.
Save the day on the memberships. That's awesome.
And
thank you, Admiral.
That does make a big difference. Wow. we hope you like it. How long have you been watching our channel? Because you might not be on the live. So while you're here, how long have you been watching? Anything you enjoy particularly in what we do? You know, since you're here. And yes, all the shuttle bays are closed. All my shuttles. Although, you know,
it should be.
Maybe I'll do a joke where I see the Discovery shuttle bay open at some point. That would be ridiculous. Yes, there's a link to the Pursuit of a Dream.
Yeah.
It's good.
Just the link.
And Nick wants me to go back again this summer, because Scotland is known for its bad weather more of the time than England, and England's known for its bad weather a lot of the time. So,
you don't say.
Yeah. So, and we managed to shoot everything, luckily, and then within for the last shot, which you can't tell is the last shot, or if you can tell me, it starts raining like monsoon level. And I get more soaked than I've been for a very long time. And it's like we're all in expensive camera. We've got expensive camera gear, and we've got, you know, all the stuff. It's just like, oh no, and we can't come back tomorrow because I was flying back to that night. Actually, I was doing a late plane, and so I remember I was from being soaked. I was wearing my jeans. It took me 5 hours until they were dry. It took me until I was already off the plane in my own country and on the train back home. I was like, oh, my jeans are dry.
Nice. That must have been comfortable.
It wasn't great. At least I had the, you know, I was still masked at that point. That was in the bag, so that wasn't soaked. If that had been soaked on an airplane, that would have been worse. Because you imagine that like a soggy 2 hour. And the bloody, I was going to get dinner because it was late. All of the restaurants at the airport were closed, even though it was like 6:30. I was like, the absolute F, even Burger King and such. So I luckily brought myself a reserved like snack dinner for like the play, like somewhere along the journey. I was like, oh great, that's my food then. Glad I prepared. I was looking for a hot meal, and Scotland said, we no like you. I was like, damn it.
Yeah. Kit 10K, so it's in $10. So I just woke up, and finally the super chats are working.
They are.
Like you told me, Stuart. Yeah. Well, that's because we really missed out on Friday. Like I said, we probably lost about $400 or $500 worth of revenue on Friday because the super chats weren't working.
And we say that because Picard's been exceptionally good. That is not the norm by any means. That's why it's so special. That's like a big chunk of a week, let alone
a lot of
a day.
people were saying they were trying to super chat that live and just couldn't. So
that's like Trekyards level of success, and it's like, damn.
Yeah. General Grievous puts in $1 for that last super chat slot, so thank you. But yeah,
what did I do? But yeah, look forward to that. And Stuart may or may not be appearing in a something at some point as well. A second something at some point, and still not canon. I have a different way of doing it. That's not canon.
I don't care. I just want to be in something. I don't know if it was canon or not.
I know, it's just funny. Just keep having those workarounds. Creative thinking, Stuart. That's key. No, feed me. McDonald's was not open. There was no McDonald's in the thing, and it was an airport. Nothing was open, literally. It was very frustrating.
Yes. Well, Kajali throws in 3,000 listens. Something. Not sure, but thank you.
Well, hold on, let me work out what it is so we know where they're from.
While you're doing
phenomenal name.
I have been watching for 3 years. Really enjoy your lives. Your breakdowns help me a lot as I'm legally blind, so it helps me how detailing you are with describing visually everything that happens in the episodes.
Gosh.
Except for this one.
You'll be happy to hear that Stuart
Stuart
is thoroughly handsome. He's got a goatee of non-evil degree.
Tell by my voice.
And his hair is pretty perfect considering it hasn't changed in like almost a full decade. I got long sideburns, so I'm showing the audience, but occasional acne, you know. And it was Icelandic krona. Fantastic.
Krona, nice. Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, I always flew to Iceland when I was going to LA because it would be in theory cheaper. I said I don't want to have a 2-hour layoff in Iceland. Now I would love to go to Iceland, but not to stay inside the airport and see Iceland out of a window for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Just to save $200. So I went straight and paid more. I was like, yeah, but yeah.
Yeah. Kid 10K throws in $5 and says, "Sniper, last shot. I hope."
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right, Ozzy. Sorry. When I didn't see any pop up, so I kind of skipped because I didn't notice. You're right. Thank you for that. See, that's why the regulars are here, to keep us in check. So, Bill 7 out of 10. Okay. Carlos 5.6. Techno 6. The Stanley 6 to 7. Matthew 5.8. Sorry. Christopher though 9.7 out of 10. So one of the best Discovery of all time. Wow. Which is, I mean, not then. Yeah. Ozzy 6.8. Cameron 7. Han 7.5. Tenzin Gary 7. Fumi Seymour 1. Would not recommend. Thomas 7.3. Sturm 3.14. Only because it's Pi Day. Good. Tenji 6. Matthews 5.8. So pretty, yeah. We're on the line with it. Not, but no, we liked it more. No, everyone liked it less.
Squadron Course says, after General Grievous, they came in at the same time.
Okay.
General Grievous snipes in with $2. Iceland is nice, but Greenland has ice. Why is this? And Squadron Course says, calling it now, Grievous is going to snipe in at the end.
And Grievous says 6, and Squadron Course says told you. Yes.
But, somebody else could super chat for this last snipe, just saying. $10 would be a great number to end off on. Because it's you've pulled our minimum up to where it's almost should be.
Yeah, so. you guys do good. And we started about the one Picard stuff. I mean, there's been so much good stuff. But I will tease something else though, because you guys are great, and I hadn't even told Matt about this, so he'll be annoyed I haven't told him. Mohaha.
He just super chatted.
I know. That's why my brain went. A 3D build has begun. That's relevant to Picard season 2. Muhahaha.
Well, that's I couldn't guess what that might be. Jesus Christ.
Trekyards might get there first. Muhahaha. And Stuart, you know what I love in my life? I'm staring at right now.
Me.
I'm staring at right now.
Me.
No. What am I staring at? No. Past the feet.
I don't know.
You do. Think about it. Where am I looking? On the floor. What do I love?
Carpet.
I love so many things about my life, especially certain things I'm looking at.
I have no idea. Slippers, sandals, socks, nail polish. I'm still waiting for an answer.
Oh no, you already got it. I thought you already got it.
What was it?
I don't know. They got it.
No, I assure you they didn't.
Well, if they're paying attention to my face, I will Facebook you which one you said, in case they didn't catch it. Where's your name? There it is.
Squadron Course snipes in with $1. And we had webcams, chat.com, hot girls and boys video chat.
Oh, that sounds saucy.
They were spamming the chat there. We got sniped them out of existence.
That's very saucy, isn't it?
Yeah. Lower decks beneath your feet. Is that it? Is that what the guess was?
No, but I sent it to you. But he did say it. So well done. Well done him.
Oh, okay. Oh, gotcha. Yep. The answer was carpet.
Oh.
So you guys can... There's a hint.
There's a hint.
Anyway. I think that's it. We're not going to get the last $3 we need.
We did well last year. We did well. We jumped up a lot. So I'm having a good time, etc. So we'll see you tomorrow for another Picard Live. Exciting.
Yes.
Oh, and of course, the last poll result was 107 votes. Will the last episode be satisfying as a satisfying conclusion? No! 64%. Yes, 36%. Pretty conclusive there. So until then.
General Grievous, $2. Fires transphasic tricobalt torpedo at Squadron Course. That's a great way to end. Boom. He's Commander Cocking.
He's got a 30.